Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Think Like a Pro team call. And this is where four elites, myself, I'm Vandy Flake from Snowflake, Arizona, Dr. Jean DeLucia from Florida, Debbie Krall also from Florida, and Kai Hayes from Austin, Texas have joined together to share with you guys some of the tips and tricks that we have learned over the years and some things that have made a difference in our businesses. And tonight we have a really cool call that Kai Hayes put together. She is traveling, but we are super excited to share with you guys some stuff. So real quick, can everyone see and hear me okay? Can I just get a thumbs up in the chat? Okay. All right. I like to use the chat. So thank you for you guys who are dropping in and saying hello on the chat. And thank you everyone for muting your lines. I appreciate that. So let me see. All right. So I am super excited to be here tonight. My name is Vandy Flake from Snowflake, Arizona. And you can't make that up, a flake from Snowflake. But I married it, so I guess I chose that. A couple of quick announcements, you guys, really quick. Number one, the Elite Academy registration is going to be happening in Salt Lake City in March 11th and 12th, and the tickets are still $79. So please give me a thumbs up. All right, whoever's got the iPhone for getting your tickets, you guys, just drop a 1 real quick in the chat if you've already bought your ticket. Okay, also, next year's convention in Phoenix, Arizona is going to be in October, and tickets are on sale. I think $179 right now to the early bird pricing still. So make sure you guys get those, because as we're going to share tonight in our things, the events change your life. This is one of the biggest months ever for Life Vantage, you guys, as far as enrollments go. And we are on track to hit the biggest month. If we hit that, Life Vantage is throwing in $500,000 extra into the pool. Please drop a, oops, they muted. Okay. You guys just drop a 2 in the comments if you have enrolled a customer or a distributor this year or this month. You guys, in the month of November. Congratulations to all of you guys. Thank you everyone for joining us. Please make sure you remember to mute yourself. And so tonight we're going to have a very special call. Kai has collected some questions from you guys, and we're going to take turns and going through and answering them. Did I miss any announcements, Jean or Debbie, that we wanted to touch on?
No, I think we're good.
And congratulations to everybody who dropped a 2 that has enrolled people in the month of November. You guys are doing the right steps. So what I thought we would do is I'll read the question. We'll let Dr. Jean answer, and then Debbie answer, and then I'll finish, and then I'll read the next question. We have 5 questions, so we will keep our answers short and sweet. If you're just joining us, please mute your line. Okay. So the question number 1 is, can we truly do this? Is it worth it, and why? Go ahead, Debbie. Or I'm sorry, I said Jean first. We'll go okay. Jean, Debbie, and then me.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. Perfect.
Okay, good. So can we truly do this? I guess that's a good question. I think we all ask ourselves when we start. I really wasn't, I saw the product as the thing I wanted to do. I just didn't see myself doing the business. For one, my phobia in life was public speaking, and I never thought I would be able to get up and do that. So I just thought, well, if I do anything, I'll just enroll a whole bunch of PCs. Well, that became apparent that that's not the way to grow your business. So I think for me, the deciding moment when I decided I could do it as a business is when I went to my first Elite Academy. It was out in San Diego. When I heard people's story and I saw people success, and that was back in 2010, I thought, yeah, I could do this too. So I really think that's probably what convinced me to go after it and do the business as a business. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, everything about this has changed my life tremendously. And yeah, I can't imagine doing anything else. So it is well worth it. So it's changed my life in every way possible.
Right. Yeah. Same thing for me, Gene. I never thought I would ever be able to do something like this or wanted to do something like this, but it is the only thing that I could ever imagine wanting to do now. Can you do this? Yes, absolutely. Everybody can do this. That does a couple things, which is make a decision that you're going to do it and then take the action to make it happen. Um, I'd never done anything but be around a horse all my life. I was very good at it, but that was all I was good at. And I was very bad with people skills. But the thing about Life Vantage is if you want to do this bad enough, all that information is out there for you to learn. In the beginning, I know I was super excited about the product because I didn't know anything that could do what this could do. And I wanted in a lot of the horses and dogs and athletes that I was around. But I didn't do anything right in the beginning except be excited. And so in the beginning, being excited will take you a lot of places because people feel that. But while you're just learn that while you are getting over that excitement, there's going to be tons of no's and people are going to tell you you're crazy. And sometimes that excitement, you start to doubt it. So as you're learning, as you're being excited and telling people, start building your skills of what we need to be professionals at, which is learning how to take no. You're going to hear more no's than yeses, and that's okay. You will find the people that'll help take you, not just you and your business, but to be able to help other people. So you'll find the other people that will want this as badly as you do. But the thing is, you just can't quit. And is it worth it? Absolutely. It's worth it from a business point of view. For myself, I was able to retire from working 100 hours a week to doing this part-time. That was huge. I was never going to retire from the industry I was in as an equine physical therapist. They just drug you out feet first one day out of a stall. You never stopped working in that business. The retirement word wasn't in my vocabulary. So I had to learn the skills that was going to let me be able to do this. And yes, it is so worth it to now know how many people you can help. Otherwise, I was just going to be me working on a person and me working on a person and me working on their horse. And you can only do that so many times, even if you are working 100 hours a week. So I am forever blessed that this came into my life, and every one of you can do this, because I know you've probably got more than just horse skills in your life.
You guys are exactly right. And when I wrote this down, I wrote down a couple notes and I said, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But it's not easy, but it is so worth it. And you need two things to have in this business. Debbie mentioned one is never quit, but the two things you have to do all the time are you have to get the training and you have to do the action. And the action is ITT. If you will plug in and do those consistently, you can do it. Just someone said, is it worth it? The first thing that came to my mind was the chart, and I couldn't find it off the top of my head real quick tonight, but you would have to have $150,000 invested in the bank at 4% interest to make $500 a month. That is our average Pro 3. So if you're only a Pro 3 or just getting started, you guys don't feel bad like you're failing. You are doing more than most people have. You have $500 a month coming in residually, and you've leveraged that income to be a blessing to you. To make $2,000 a month coming in residually or leverage, you'd have to have $600,000 cash invested in a very good thing. So don't let the numbers scare you guys. Do the work because it is absolutely worth it. So the next question, I think this one is fun. It says, share some barriers while building your business and how did you overcome it? Dr. Jean.
For me, the biggest barrier was finding time. I had 3 clinics going. I was busy. I was putting a lot of hours in something I was no longer enjoying doing. So that was probably the biggest barrier. Otherwise, I think it was just learning the system, learning it, practicing it, doing it over and over again, making lots of mistakes. doing it wrong over and over again until we got it right. So I think that was the biggest barrier. I think most of the time barriers in your mind. So, it's not outside of you, it's inside of you. How do we overcome it? I plugged in. I went to our one meeting we had once a week in our area. I listened over and over again. Eventually we started doing the meetings ourselves. Not very good, but we did them and we got better. And we went to the events, every event, just something we didn't miss. So I think by learning slowly, but repeating it over and over, and just that repetition was how you grew the business. That's how you learn the business, like any business you're learning. So.
Well, we're very similar on that as far as the barriers. It's just having to do it over and over. For me, it was network marketing. All I knew that someone said that you weren't supposed to do that, and I had no idea why, but I'd heard it enough times that I was willing to believe it. So I had to get over a lot of things that were incorrect. So the network marketing was a huge barrier for me. In fact, the first 3 people that I signed up, they didn't know it was network marketing. We're in business. Give me your credit card. I did everything wrong. So back to, can you do it? Yes. So, because you couldn't make many more mistakes than I did. I wouldn't even tell people what kind of business it was in the beginning. So to get over some of that stuff was I went and, like Gene, I went to an event. I got to go and talk to total strangers, ask them questions. I just, it wasn't that I didn't believe the person that told this to me, but he was a complete stranger. And for me to leave a 6-figure income or leave my business that I'd had for 37 years, I wanted to make sure this was true. And all I'd heard was it was not. So I went to an event and I spent the entire time there talking to people. And like I said last week, Greg Deeker was one of the ones I bumped into and said, is this real? And he was a Pro 7 then. And he had no reason to tell me a lie. All the people that I was there, they didn't know who I was, and I didn't really know who they were. But I kept getting the same answer over and over. So events are so incredibly important. And research the industry. That's what I had to do. I heard all these numbers that people made these great numbers. And 8 years ago, I don't believe we had an income disclosure statement. If so, I hadn't seen it. And I wasn't just going to leave what I was doing. So do your research and find out that network marketing is so incredibly real. I have no idea why everybody in the world is not doing this, other than they don't know about it. And yes, you have to do some things you don't want to. But you know what? In my other business, I got up at 4:15 every single morning and went to work at 4:30, 7 days a week. I didn't like that either. And at least this gave me a change. I was going to be able to do something else. How do you overcome some of these things is just like Gene said, staying plugged in. I got on conference calls. I listened to everybody that I could to build my belief. And when you finally believe and you have enough people on product that are telling you, and you've got enough dogs and horses that don't need to talk to you, you can see it's different. That's when your belief is so big, no one can take this away from me. So I think that's one of the biggest things is make sure that your belief is there. And that's by getting around people that are going to give you these positive comments and let you know that you can do it, because you can.
Yeah. And I kind of go on the same way. So some of our barriers, we were both working full-time jobs. We had 2 small children. Time was a big thing. We had a 15-year-old car with 200,000 miles on it, and we were going there, driving and telling people how they could make money. And driving to Idaho, I can't tell you how many times we'd got up at 4 or 5 in the morning to drive to Phoenix, and it only snowed on weekends. I had to be in Phoenix for Life Vantage training or to fly out. Driving so slow in the snowstorm, praying we'd make it on time. But yeah, negative family, negative friends. But what changed my belief and changed my thing, again, you guys, is the Elite Academy, going to the events. Plug into the Saturday Success Mastery trainings. And number 1, give yourself a hand, you guys, that you're on this call. You're plugging in already. But those Saturday trainings are golden. And I'm also going to give a shout out for Eric Worre's GoPro event this week that's free. Wow. It is phenomenal. You guys get on and get a ticket this week before it ends, because he's giving away like $3,000 of bonuses for his GoPro event in December. That event, you guys, last year launched me back into growth mode because I went to that GoPro event. But you have to go to these events to build your belief and to learn more, because this is a different type of business. And you're right. I don't know why anybody wouldn't do network marketing except they don't understand it. So the third question is, how do you build your elite rank income while working full time? And is 2 to 5 years realistic?
Okay, and I guess I'm first. How do you do it? You just keep plugged in. You go to the events, you keep learning. I was always trying to read something educational, whether it was another network marketer or whatever, whoever. I just felt like I had a lot to learn. And so I was constantly looking at something educational or motivational or inspirational. And I still do that. I think it's just putting it in the little nooks and crannies when you do have time. You know, for me, Saturdays was no longer sit in front of the TV and watch football. It was now doing events, going to events, listening to things, reading things, and talking to people. I think that was it. I was excited because I saw results in people and in myself, and I wanted to spread the word. That's really what kept me motivated. Is 2 to 5 years realistic? Yeah, for me, it was 3 years. I hit Pro 7 in 3 years, and I did that very part-time. So it's certainly possible. It's just having that in the front of your mind, talking to people, sharing this with people, helping people. I think if you keep it that way and you talk to people about, their health or their time freedom or their financial freedom, whatever their need is, you'll be successful. It's just time. And then playing into IGT, doing it properly. That's it. So I committed to myself that I would talk to at least 2 people a day, every day. So that's really the way I grow it.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, mine was really difficult too, as far as time. I think for every single one of us, it's time. A lot of people have more than one job today. I only had one, but it was 100 hours a week. And I didn't have a day off. And I can remember every once in a while, I'll run across somebody and they're like telling me they don't have enough time, that they only have 2 days a week off. And I just want to, are you kidding me? You have 48 hours. And so, what I did was really, truly, in the beginning, they talk about working this into the nooks and crannies of your life. That's what I had to do. I couldn't block out an hour or two anywhere. There was no place. If it was before 4 a.m. and I didn't know too many people I could talk to. And there was going to have to be after 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. And that wasn't going to happen either. So I had to make my calls as I was driving from one barn to the next barn. And if I got there, somebody that wanted to know the information, I'm sitting there waving my arms, telling them I'll be there just a minute. The people are looking at me and I'm still on the phone trying to get another appointment when I'm going to connect with this guy the next time. So it's not always easy, but it is absolutely worth it for me to be able to sleep whenever I would like to right now. But it just, you have to understand, what are you willing to do? And yes, I did it in 2 years, but I set that as a goal. I've always been a big goal setter. You have to decide when you want to do this. You can't just say, I'm going to do it. I said, I'm going to be a Pro 7 in 2 years because I want to stop working 100 hours a week and trying to squash this in. So about after a year and a half, I had some income coming in and I knew this was going to happen. I was able to stop some of the clients that I had so I could put more time into this business. And that was when things, really, I could see that I was going to have a freedom one day. And it was all because we were able to help people and help horses. We saw the benefits. So you have to keep what's important in front of you. It wasn't just so that I could retire and have, a Pro 7 income. That's what I had to have to quit doing what I didn't want to do anymore. And along the way, you help hundreds, and with a team, you help thousands of people not only feel better, but their horses do and their dogs do. And we're able to help people with their mindset. They become a better person. So you have to just understand what is really important to you that you want to pass on to that next generation of people. And that's what kept me going. Was it was not easy. There was a good year. It was still 100 hours a week, every week, but you have to want to do it bad enough. And I hope each one of you want to do it bad enough.
And that's exactly right. Know what your goal is and what are you willing to give up. We sacrificed some family time. Sam and I were both working full-time jobs. We had 2 small children. So ours was a lot of, oh, you've got a guest to the meeting this week. You go, I'll stay home with the kids. One time a friend of mine texted me, she was coming, but she needed someone. So I sat in the bedroom and watched her kids and my kids while they were doing a meeting in the other room. We sacrificed football, nights and weekends. Drive time was learning time, listening to calls, trainings. And then all of the trainings became our vacations. Our vacation time, I literally mapped out all of the days off I had so I could track it on which event we were going to and how many days off I needed to travel to get there, because we had a 3-hour drive to get to the airport. So I really had to track it. But really pay attention to this as a business, you guys. If you want this, write down and keep track, because I can almost bet money on you, if you're not growing, you are not doing 25 ITTs. It's easy to stay busy and you're talking to like 3 or 4 people at a time. Maybe you message one person, you're waiting for them to talk about. Don't wait for them to respond. Message some more. Get as many people into that funnel as you can and keep them going, and track it. You will be surprised. That's one of the things we did. We had a goal at the time. It was 15 presentations, 15 physical people in front of the information. And we tracked it each month with our family, because we weren't doing as much as we thought we were doing when we weren't tracking it. Okay. This next one says, do you think that it's better for a new person to invite via text or through the phone for newbies, and why?
I never did that. I've been doing it more now. I find for some people that have that fear of talking to people, that if I can give them a text to send to their friends as an introduction, I think it takes a lot of that fear out. And then they're not getting shot down right away either. So I think that's pretty good way to have them initially introduce us to friends and family. And then I do tell them that with one of their upline, when we get back to them, send them a video or whatever they're going to do, put them into the app and get them something, and then follow up together with your upline. If I can do that ITT action, whether that would be with the person sitting there or sending the text first as an introduction, I kind of like that. I think it takes some fear out of the person initially. Some people don't have that fear. Most people do. I did. So I think it's a good way to introduce people, or have people introduce us to their friends and family. Yes. So what was the other part of the question?
That was just why. You answered it.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead, Debbie. Any thoughts?
Well, I like text. I think a little better because especially for a new person, they don't get all the 20 questions that a new person doesn't know how to get out of answering. What is it? How much does it cost? Well, when you get those questions, that just means you said too much, because they shouldn't even know it's a product as to how much is it. But that's kind of what new people do. And if we can send them a simple text to say, hey, I've got some information you need to know about, or whatever it is you're texting, I think that a lot of secondary questions get stopped. At the same time, if it's a person that you can coach into not saying too much, I think hearing that live voice is really good, because I hear your excitement. And if you want to take from the live voice just to the next step, that voice text, where they're not going to have a chance to come back and ask you that question, but they'll still be able to hear the excitement in your voice. I think probably the voice text is probably the best, because you're getting what you need to say out with your excitement and with your person. They're going to feel your feelings, but yet they're not going to have the opportunity to give you 20 questions. And like anything, it takes practice. Whenever I'm training somebody, rarely can I get someone to do this, but when they do it, it's brilliant. It's like, say, okay, go in the bathroom and say whatever you're going to say 5 times. And, they go in there and they go, they're going to do it. Second time is a little better. Third time is a little better. Fifth time, it's good. And that's what you want them to do. So they don't have to feel uncomfortable. They know, we know when we say that, So if you can get them to go practice that little simple line, and then you have the opportunity, to cancel it out, or you can send it because you made it good. I think that's the best way.
I love that, the combination of both. You guys drop in the chat how you were invited. Number one, I think the best invite is one that happens. It doesn't matter how it is, okay? So that's mine. I have done a variety of invites. I've really been working on, being involved this long. My warm market pretty much knows what I do and why I'm doing this. So it's new people, it's new social media friends and stuff. And that is a change. But yeah, somebody was invited with the ABC News report, somebody else on the phone. We were invited because our shower broke and the plumber started telling us, when Sam called him, he was talking about his whole network marketing business. So you don't know. Okay, this next question says, it's not easy to sell products. I feel belittled at times and feel like I'm forcing them. What am I doing wrong?
Well, I personally try not to think of myself as a salesman as much as an educator. So I want to educate people on 2 things. I want to educate them on something we have that will help them with their health. And for those who are looking for it, something that would help them with time and financial freedom. And that's not everybody, but I don't want to come across as a salesperson. I think the switch that I had from that was that when I started asking people questions about their needs, and whether that's their health, and that was easy for me because I was asking about their health anyway. So I was used to that part. But asking people about what they're passionate about, it's never their job. It is never their job. So, if I find something that's a need for them or a pain for them, or that they're looking for possibly a change, whether that's time freedom from what they're doing, or financial freedom, or better health, then I want to offer them maybe a possibility of a way to change that or to improve. And I think that's the mindset. If you have that, the outcome is there. I don't think you have to think of yourself as trying to sell them something, because I think that way you tend to setting yourself up for failure then, or making it much harder.
Right. I think the biggest thing is if we're looking of how we can help that person, no matter what it is, whether it's their health, whether it's time freedom, whether they need more income. Maybe some of them are stay-at-home moms and they've got the next child on the way. They're going to have to go to work. They don't want to leave the family. As long as we keep asking questions, because when we just start talking, it doesn't matter how excited we are, or I might be excited about it for the wrong reason for this person. It's asking people, and as long as your mouth is closed and you're nodding and you're asking another question and you're agreeing, and can you tell me more about that? When we talk, I don't learn anything about that other person. So it's about asking questions and finding out what their need is. It might be the product, it might be the business. I was for both. And so sometimes it'll be for someone that's both, but you won't know it until you ask enough questions and they understand that you care. When we just start blasting, and I know sometimes this happens, when we get excited, and that's when we sound like a salesman. And when people, whenever somebody says, oh, so-and-so said I was a salesman, it's like, well, you might've been, were you just going on and just trying to get it down their throat, no matter how great it is, and this going to help them? Or are we asking them what they needed? And so I think that, the big deal is asking before we even open our mouth is what do they need? And when we can offer their solution, then we're not selling anymore. They've already told us their problem. They already told us they don't have enough time freedom. They already told us that they have some sort of health issue. So, and you're just sitting there nodding. And I know sometimes it's really hard just to keep nodding and let them talk, because as soon as they say something that we know we got an answer for, we want to attack and just let them know, and all of a sudden we're a salesman. So you just keep nodding and letting them talk, and then say, you know, I think I have something that could help you with that problem. Would you like to know more? Now, I'm not being a salesman. They're asking for what do I have as a solution. And when we can start doing that on a consistent basis, I never hear I'm a salesman anymore. So think about that. Just think about listening 80% of the time and talking 20%. Or if you need to listen to it as we got 2 ears and 1 mouth, use it that way. That's the ratio that we should be talking to people.
Exactly. That is dead on. I'm going to add, you guys, what Dr. Jean and Debbie said is exactly right. Ask a lot of questions. If you're having trouble with that, the book I recommend is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And that's what it talks about, asking questions. I'm going to share something that I learned yesterday on the GoPro. This was from Pat Quinn on how to tell your story. He said, if you use this technique, you will never feel like a salesperson. What you do is your story is like a 3-act play. So part 1 is the before. This is about 2 minutes and should focus on like 3 main points. Okay. You know, my life before, I was tired all the time. I was dragging all day. I wanted a nap. I was cranky. I had brain fog in the afternoon. After I saw this amazing video and changed just a few things in my life, now I get out of bed without an alarm clock. I have more energy all day long. I'm more focused. I have my happy mommy juice, and I know it. Now, do you guys want to know what I took? That's my story. And when you break it overview, and you don't even have to say the products, you know, you can keep that kind of simple and then go to the after of what it has given you. And you can do the same thing with your business story. But there, and when you tell the story like that, I think, Barbara, that would kind of answer your question too. But we don't want to make claims. We don't want to overpromise on our products. But when we can connect like this, it will change people's things. So think about that, you guys. Again, the GoPro trainings have been phenomenal. I hope you are watching them. So we had 2 more quick questions, Jean and Debbie. One was, how do you approach a stranger? And the other one, it said, millions of people, according to CBS, are buying vitamins to boost their immune system. How far can we go to let them know and to redirect their thinking?
Okay. How do you approach a stranger? Be friendly. You know, I tell people, my goal is 2 people a day. If I don't have that second person or the first or second person, I have a friend right down around the corner that owns a restaurant and bar combination. So I'll go down there and sit at the bar, and whoever's sitting next to me, I might just strike up a conversation. I usually will go, where do I know you from? You look really familiar. That's very easy to do. And they'll tell me, I said, well, what kind of work do you do? They tell me what they do. And I go, oh, how do you like that? You know, I want to hear something about them that they don't like. You know, they start telling me about their job or what they hate or those type of things. It's kind of you're in. And then you can start to, like Debbie said, offer them maybe a possible solution. So it's not difficult now. It takes practice. I think just to go in and strike up a conversation for me was very foreign. So it took some practice to overcome that and then get good at it. As long as you're asking them questions, they'll answer you. And people feel like you're really interested in me by asking about me. So I think it's a start of a friendship. You know, I think that's really what you're looking at. So I think that's the way to do it the best way. The other question on vitamins and what they're looking for. Yes, everybody's looking right now. I personally talk to them about activating, not supplementing. And when we can do that, it's millions of times more powerful. And I think if I can tell them that we have better ways than just a supplement now, they become pretty interested. They have a personal interest in keeping healthy much more now.
I did the same thing, Jean. It's just ask questions. I mean, everything we do really is ask questions, whether it's trying to find out more about them so we know how we can help them, or ask questions, you know, if it's about the business, it's like, what kind of income do you have now? What would you like to have? And so the thing about strangers, once you get used to just asking questions, it's almost like you can't not ask a question. And I know that sounds really crazy, but about 35 years ago, I started studying Tom Hopkins and a lot of sales trainers, and it was all about question, question, question. And you answered a question with a question all the time. It became a speech pattern. And it was so much so that I would, after I was going to these events and I really had it ingrained in my head, I'd come home and my husband, I would say something and I'd ask him a question. I wouldn't answer the question, and finally he said, can't you just answer the question? And that was when I knew I had it. It was ingrained in me. It was something that was natural for me. What wasn't natural for me was talking to strangers, because I didn't talk to anybody. I did not speak with people. I was great with animals. So it was very hard for me to just try and strike up a conversation with a total stranger. But people are so looking for engagement today. I guess they always have been, but the fact that we've gone through this pandemic and people, have less and less, relationships and I guess conversations going on, they're looking for a conversation. And sometimes if you're just trying to make a little game with yourself, it's like when I go to the grocery store, I'll go kind of stand behind somebody. Maybe they got a kid. Maybe that's going to be a little easier for me, ask about the child or find somebody that looks a little more friendly and kind of see what the shopping cart is and talk about how hard it is to find, really good nutrition today. I see you're eating healthy. Is there any particular, plan that you're on? Ask the question. And when they give you the answer, say, oh, well, where did you learn that? Just learn the next question to ask. And you really won't need but about 15 questions. You can only ask people so many things, but ask about what they're eating or where did they find that? Or, boy, you look pretty fit. Do you go to a gym? Where is that? How often do you go a week? So if you can just think about things that, look at that person and you have an idea kind of if they're in the health world or not. There's lots of questions for them. And there are people that, you could be sitting there talking again in a line with somebody that's about, well, I'm tired of wearing masks like everybody. Yeah, I can't wait till we've got some really fresh air that I'm not having to breathe my own anymore. Yeah, right. Just make them laugh a little bit. And it's like, oh, I see what you got some healthy food there. Do you got any children? Ask what their kids. So many times when you ask about the kids have problems. We have problems. A lot of times the adults don't talk about their own when they have children that have problems. But you'll hear the children that have the problems that are maybe not doing well at school or have anxiety or depression or they're dealing with things. And again, you just sit there and just say, yes, yes, yes. Oh, I see you guys are fixing to check out. Would you mind giving me your contact information? Because I'd love just to get some information to you that I think might be helpful.
And asking questions and listening. I haven't really had a thing where, even if sometimes somebody doesn't want to give you a phone number, sometimes I've asked if, hey, can I friend you on Facebook so that I can connect you with some more information. And that's another one if they don't want to do their phone number, because that was a question I think Jane asked. So I hope you guys have found this valuable. I've taken a lot of notes. So you guys, if you have found any value in here, just please drop a thank you in the comments for us. So I appreciate it. And I appreciate, what, do we have another one? Go ahead, Debbie.
Mention one other thing. I think there's only one person that I've never gotten a phone number from. Again, if you're trying to help them and you say you just want to get some information to them, could you give me a good text number I could send it to? And I know your phone numbers, your text number is the same thing, but it is a middle thing for them that you're going to send them a text and you're not going to ring their phone off.
That's brilliant. Can I text you some information? What's a good number? And a lot of times of assuming it, well, what's a good number or a good way for me to send this to you? And sometimes people have dropped their email. sometimes they've dropped their phone number without even asking, you know, how's a good way for me to send this? And they'll provide it. So yeah, you guys, thank you for all the love, you guys. I appreciate this. I want you guys to know we do work hard trying to get all these ready. So thank you guys for joining us. And so next week, I'm going to stop